Overwatch 2's latest hero, Vendetta, is an insane game changer. Let's have a look. The Vendetta test event in Overwatch 2 is slowly coming to an end. I wanted to take the time to look back at my personal play sessions and try and highlight why I think this hero is definitely a game changer for Overwatch, even before she got released. And let me start out with mentioning that I am in no way a DPS player. I do not have the aim, nor do I have the mechanical ability to be a decent DPS player. And that is exactly why I never play heroes like Widow, Genji, unless I get forced by my viewers on the stream. Yeah, they do that. I mean, they end up forcing me. I can't say that I'm having a lot of fun playing those types of heroes, which is exactly the reason that they force me to do it. Why? I know why. Because it becomes this embarrassing mess of death and destruction. My death and destruction. It's not pretty. I did, however, enjoy most of my Vendetta play sessions. And trust me, it was not because I was kicking ass, because I was really good at her, but merely because she is so much fun to play. She feels very different, fresh. First of all, that rollout. Throughout my career, I played a lot of Lucio. It was the first hero I ever played, and I kept playing him for the last 10 years. So I know a good rollout when I see one. And throwing that sword, yeeting yourself towards it, and then following it up with the whirlwind dash, oh god. You're on the objective instantly, all by yourself, ready to kick ass, or to die. No, seriously, she gives Wrecking Ball a run for his money. Or hamster biddies. Second, she does feel very impactful. Even if you tend to miss the occasional fire strike or that edge projection thing, it still feels so good. I mean, you could be cleaving air, but it is going to be the most fun you've ever had while cleaving air. I can tell you that much. The whole kit makes you just feel so strong. And the fact that most players start panicking when you dive the backline and start harassing the supports adds to that feeling. That is a temporary thing. Because pretty soon, most players are going to start to realize that she is very fragile. She is that classic glass cannon, meaning that she has huge damage potential. She's extremely easy to kill. Sure, she has the block, but that doesn't last long enough. And while it lasts, while she's blocking damage, she might defend herself, especially from the more mid to long range attacks. But anybody that gets up close at that point is going to kill her really fast, or at least force her to retreat, which is the smarter thing to do. And when she's not blocking, she can be taken out by those mid or long range heroes very easily. I personally love to pester her as Zenyatta because I can do both. I can attack her from long range, and if she gets too close, that's when the foot comes out. I start kicking. There's nothing more embarrassing for a gladiator than being killed by a kicking monk. And yeah, she has a lot of HP, especially for a DPS, but she's never at full health because she's always in the midst of the fight. On the other hand, look. Vendetta is not the type of hero that you learn or master in just a few days. Anybody that tells you that they already mastered her are either working for Blizzard or they're lying. Just like she is not the type of hero that you learn to counter in a few days. I mean, yeah, her kit is pretty basic, but there's a lot of nuance to it. It has a lot of hidden tech, little elements that you might not have figured out just yet. Ways of combining her abilities or even combine them with someone else's abilities. Which basically makes any opinion on how good or bad she is right now invalid, including my own opinion. My suggestion would be that we come back to this topic, to this question, in about 1 or 2 months after she is released. When we all got some serious playtime in there, including the high-level players, the professional players, then we're going to see her potential. For now, if you would push me, I would say that she is currently on the strong side. But I also have this nagging feeling that I might be completely wrong about that. That the data will actually prove that she's quite balanced, if not even a little underwhelming. Although, we'll see. Because this video is not necessarily about how good or how bad she is. I'd rather talk about how much fun she is and how her abilities are very unique. How this hero is actually the start of a new era for Overwatch hero design, or at least a big step forward. And I mean, that unique label is not only applicable for Overwatch 2. When they first announced Vendetta, there were a lot of people in my comments pointing at Blizzard and telling them that they just copied magic from Marvel Rivals. And at the first glance, very understandable to make that accusation. But now I've been playing her a little bit. See, I did not ever play a lot of Magic in Marvel Rivals. I'm more of a support player in that game, so I didn't really get a lot of time with her. But I feel like, apart from maybe the Whirlwind, although that one is rather different too, she plays very differently. I personally feel like Vendetta has more depth to her kit. Yeah, I'm going to piss off some people saying that. Well, wouldn't be the first time. Like I said, her mobility is insane, and it can be used in a very wide set of ways. That whole slash combo for her main attack does require a good execution, especially on that last strike, because that is going to decimate your opponent. You need to get that upper swing right. It needs to hit. The projected edge feels satisfying, especially if it hits a target that is about to get away, you know? They're about to take that corner, you just fling that thing at them and bam, little skull. And then there's her ultimate. Her ultimate has been the talk of the town, or the Overwatch community. I've seen so many 5K play of the games on TikTok that I'm starting to wonder why I haven't even gotten one, because there's so many. If she manages to fully charge it, it is a GG for anybody in front of her. Doesn't matter if you're bubbled, if you have a shield, if Lucio just dropped his bait, you're going to die. The thing is that she is extremely vulnerable while she's doing her ultimate. Sure, she has 275 health, but it takes her 3 seconds to fully charge that ultimate. She can't block anything that's coming in at that point. She's just hanging there or standing there, because she needs to be in the open, which is not where you want to be if you have a 3-second ultimate. All it takes is one hook, a nano sleep, a well-aimed shot by Widowmaker, or indeed a kick by Zenyatta, and that ult is gone. But right now, when players hear that Italian voice line, they all just run for cover, or they just stand there staring at the sky, looking at that shiny lady. So pretty. But that is also not going to last. At some point, we're all going to learn how to deal with her, or how to escape her. However, we might need a little help to get that done. I think the warning signs or the effect for the enemy Vendetta releasing her ult could use a little help. But on the other hand, I've seen Vendetta players get really creative with the ways that they deploy that ultimate. So yeah, like I said, give it a few weeks, maybe 1 or 2 months. We might have a very different conversation at hand. But now, however, she is a very fun hero, even for DPS noobs like myself, with a healthy skill ceiling, but also with a healthy skill floor. In other words, if you want to play her, you'll have to put in some time. And that's fine. We need those types of heroes. In my opinion, it is above all a step forward for Overwatch hero design. Blizzard or Team 4 has been rather conservative in the last 10 years when it comes to the hero design, which might sound weird because we've seen some oddball heroes. But Vendetta is an oddball on a very different level, in a very different way. Because that melee playstyle is very atypical for any shooter, as we've seen with DPS Doomfist back in the day. That was kind of pushing in that same direction. And now they took that idea and pushed it even further. They took a risk. This was a test on how far they can stretch that basic Overwatch gameplay without it failing on both a mechanical and a philosophical level. And it was a successful test because she's doing great on both, which means that most likely we're going to see more of these types of experiments in the future, where they try to push the Overwatch gameplay, the hero gameplay, into new places that we've never been before. That is no longer about a shooter, that there's more going on here. We're going to see more heroes that we would not have expected to see in Overwatch ever. Like a pet hero. Maybe. No? I'm going to keep asking. But tell me, how did you enjoy the Vendetta test weekend? Let me know in the comments or come tell me during my streams over on twitch.tv/GameSeasTV. See you there. For now, however, that was it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It always helps me out. I also want to thank my patrons and YouTube members. You too can become a member over on patreon.com/theomnicpost and right here on YouTube to unlock exclusive rewards. If you have a few minutes left, maybe check out one of my other videos. But above all, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Bye bye.